Pretty good, pretty good.
All
Just
right.
coming off some bad losses though, so
Yeah, it happens. So I guess give me some background on like, is this Storm League scrims? Is this
this is
like,
just us in Storm League.
hmm? Is it
Um,
five stack or?
we're a five stack,
Okay.
brand new team. Just got our fifth member locked down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're hoping to compete next season, but still obviously working on our like group synergy.
Mm-hmm. Just give me a second. I think your voice might be a bit too high. I'm gonna try to lower some of the sound.
Okay.
All right, yeah, that sounds better. Okay, so you're playing Anduin. So your team is Joe, Dahaka, Jaina, Rainer, Anduin. You said you were five stack, right?
Yes.
Versus their comp of Garrosh, Alarak, Lunara, Kael'thas, Malfurion on Dragonshire. So immediately, I guess, why did you pick Anduin? Is it more just because he's like a meta support right now? Was there a specific reason you wanted to pick him?
We play him a lot. I mean, he's meta support right now. I'm also pretty comfortable on him. I think. The only thing I don't like is that he doesn't have a cleanse, but he's just
Although
kind
he
of
has his
like a.
passive, which is his cleanse.
Well, the D, yeah, yeah, but yeah. I guess he's just kind of like a good like filler pick or fallback pick for us if we're not sure what else
Yeah, it's a
would
safe.
fit
Yeah. It's a
necessarily. We
safe
pick him.
pick because it doesn't really show anything to the enemy comp.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're not going with like an Uther, which shows that you're going for a fast team fight, um, or Lucia, which shows more of like a death ball approach. With Anduin, you can kind of go either way with it. So level one pick, you went for bold strategy. Is that a common pick for you? Kind of explain that pick over going for the other Anduin level ones.
Um, Again, that's usually typically what I go. I mean, you gain all of his level one talents. It gives you a little bit of a cooldown extension, increase rather. But like I said, you gain both of those talents instead of having to choose between them. And from what I've seen, and read about the builds and stuff, that's typically what most people pick, I've heard.
I would kind of disagree with that. I guess it was the common pick when
Hmm.
it was both talented increased by 1 second. That was kind of seen by everybody as okay for a 1 second extra cooldown. Like that's a pretty good big gain. But then
Okay.
the way people think about it now is that now that it's 2 seconds instead of 1 second, it's kind of you kind of view it more as okay. So is the extra 2 second cooldown worth the additional talent? Is the way people like to think about it now, and your Q is going to be pretty much a lot of your sustained healing. It's much more mana efficient to heal with your Q than your W.
Hmm.
So that's gonna be the spell you want to use to keep your team at full health. So in terms of my question with going for bold strategy versus for renew or pursuit by grace is how often are you going to need to use your Q against the enemy comp? Is it very pokey, or is it very you just need to use it once like over a very long period of time? And when you look at that comp with Lunara, Kael'thas, and Alarak, I view that as they're going to be inflicting kind of a lot of poke into your team. They're very damage focused composition rather than a CC focused composition with going for the Alarak instead of a more tankier bruiser pick. So, me personally, I prefer to go for the renew because my argument is with pursuit by grace, each time you damage an enemy hero, you're healing a nearby hero for 34. And is that worth the extra 2 seconds of wait for healing for 270?
Okay. That makes
um
sense.
yeah, and I kind of view it as if you're in Storm League, so I guess you can argue that the enemy's gonna let you damage them a lot more, and then you're gonna get the value from Pursuit by Grace. But especially in a competitive or like when you're in like a team setting, the tanks aren't gonna really let you damage them a lot,
Hmm.
and at that point, Pursuit by Grace loses a lot of value. So, and also into a Garrosh specifically, if you're in position to do like a lot of damage against him, you're probably going to get like flipped or be in danger of being blown up. Um,
Yeah.
another issue with Pursuit by Grace, I'd argue, is that you're not really inflicting a lot of instances of damage until level 20. Until you get Variance Legacy, your only damage is either an auto attack, a W, or your E, and those are really low like ticks of damage. You're not like a Lunara or a Gul'dan or a Nazeeba who's doing a lot of ticks of damage until level 20. And that's where Pursued by Grace gets a lot of value. And
Okay.
usually I've seen a lot of higher level Anduins go for the Renew because they value having the Q up a lot more, because they feel that the better your opponents get, the less they're going to let you get value from Pursued by Grace. I'll keep an eye just to see that, like, is their team letting you get a lot of value from it? But I predict that against that team with that much poke, you might want the bold strategy more. I'll keep an eye on it as the game goes, though.
Okay.
So Anduin is a nice pick to have against the Garrosh. Anybody that gets thrown, you can just pull them back to save them. Although it is a long cooldown, so they shouldn't get too reliant on your pull.
Yeah.
So like right now, you're in a safe position. I'd say this is a good time for you to heal the Johanna. Because, I mean, right now you're just sitting at full mana. You're not really low on mana. You're in a safe position. And there's not really any risk to having her be healed up right now. That's a really good route onto the Garrosh to secure the kill.
Thanks.
Yeah. You've noticed now that the kill thoughts went for convection, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We called that out. And as soon as we called him out for it, we immediately started standing in all of his circles. So I was like, oh god, we're not making this any easier on ourselves.
So like right now so far, you've only really done 455 damage to enemy team, which is probably all from your W.
Mm-hmm.
And with their composition, they're not really gonna let you get close and constantly be hitting them. So
Yeah.
my first impressions immediately are that the extra 2 seconds on your Q isn't really worth it for the Pursuit by Grace, when you can be constantly healing the Raynor more or the Joe more to keep them constantly at higher health.
Yeah, I think I need to think about that more, because yeah, with the Garrosh and the Alarak, I was definitely trying to not be too far in range.
Yeah.
So.
And then you're not gonna get the Pursuit by Grace value.
Mm-hmm.
Inherit the Dragon Knight's power and lay waste to this forsaken kingdom.
And there, if you're in comps, I'd probably tell Raynor to check the bush there instead of just both of you guys face taking, because Alarak could have chunked you guys. But then you probably also saw Lunar and Malfurion top, so
We were
you probably
pretty
weren't
confident
gonna
there's only
die.
one person there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good damage onto the Garrosh. Yeah. Like right there, it's just like a minor thing, but like if you had your, if your Q was up by not going bold strategy, just an extra heal onto Johanna. So level 4, you went for the Inner Fire, and at level 4, I really see people go for 2 talent picks commonly. They either go for Inner Fire or they go for Moral Compass. I guess argue why you went for Inner Fire over Moral Compass or even Holy Reach. I just want to.
I went with it because it pairs with the talent at 1, because I'm trying to get value, from those auto attacks. So if he increases attack speed and his range, then I felt like it would be easier for me to get that damage in. That's usually what I take those two together.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I guess just expressing a counter argument, just because I have to always deal with the debate between these 2 picks. Are you gonna even with the extra attack range, are you going to be safe enough to get the auto attacks in?
Against the Garrosh and the Alarak, probably not.
And against a tank like Garrosh, that's where I often go for Moral Compass, because then I know I'm not gonna be able to auto attack that much, but at least with Moral Compass I can guaranteed auto attack, so I can get renew value.
Yeah.
And with bold strategy, each of those little auto attacks does trigger your Pursued by Grace.
Makes sense.
But you could also make the argument for Inner Fire just based off of the fact that it's the only talent of the 3 that gives you PvE value. So if you're doing a lot of macro stuff, doing camps, like clearing waves a bit faster, Inner Fire is the best for that. But if the reason for it is more so to trigger your bold strategy talents, I'd say Moral Compass will do a better job in terms of you'll trigger Pursuit by Grace more, you'll trigger Renew a lot safer, and you're going to be in a better position, and you'll be able to position yourself better, because instead of worrying about can I get auto attacks in, you'll be more positioned on am I in a position that I can be able to heal people and keep them safe. So right now you do pop your heal. I was gonna say, like, with Anduin, your sustain healing is only fine. You only out sustain other supports if you're being able to constantly use your Q. And especially with you going bold strategy, I'd say whenever you're safe and it's off cooldown, just constantly be using it, because you're gonna want to keep your, because Anduin, other than cleanse, isn't really great at saving a teammate. So and by keeping their health as high as possible, you're gonna give yourself more room to save them, essentially.
Yeah.
It's easier to save a Joe at 100% health than 50. Which is part of why I don't like the bold strategy as much. Because of the fact that you don't have like a great emergency heal button like what Rhaegar does or Uther does.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be keeping their health higher on average. So I guess whenever you go bold strategy, kind of notice, is your team constantly at low health a lot? Because with the Malfurion, you're pretty much constantly going to be getting heals. So you want to be able to match that with your team, especially against a lot of poke from Lunara, Kayle, and Alarak.
Yeah, we definitely noticed the chunking struggle with the Alarak.
Mm-hmm. You're going for a good kind of combo with the Joe W into Anduin root. The only thing I question in this scenario is Jaina was back here. You don't really have to follow it for it.
Yeah, I need to pay more attention to not just my own positioning, but that of my teammates.
Yeah. At that point, like, it doesn't matter as much then because you're at pretty high mana, but you can argue that like you're wasting your mana a bit.
Yeah.
And then especially if you're having, if you use your Q a lot, your mana is gonna be a lot more important and relevant. That was just a unfortunate positioning thing. Let me go back and see how you ended up there. Okay, so you and Joe are capturing the point. This is a good time, I'd say, to mount up and just follow Joe out.
Yeah, I think it was just a matter of
Joe's a lot easier to save than you are if you're in a rough position. And I'd probably say instead of Joe having you hold the point or capture the point, you should be the one leaving and Joe should capture the point. And if you have to be on the point, then Joe should stay with you. Like, the support should never be the closest one to the enemy team. Ideally, it's a front line or at least some other DPS that's closest. Mm-hmm. So that they're the target that the enemy team goes for instead of you.
You will be avenged, hero. Eventually, by someone.
Speed that a bit. Top lane, Taka Luna is actually a really annoying matchup.
Yeah.
That's what that feels like.
I still think the Alarak was our least favorite pick.
Yeah.
From this game, though, we've struggled against him before, and this game just kind of like reconfirmed our hatred of him.
Yeah. It's causing a lot of problems because Alarak Malfurion is a great combo. Just something that your team can run if you have a good Alarak is Malfurion can pre-place the root, and Alarak can drag them into Malfurion root.
Yeah.
To start, like a pick-off or a blow-up.
Yeah. I used to play a lot of Malfurion, but ever since his rework, I've just struggled to feel effective with him.
Right there, I wouldn't veer that close to him.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like begging for you to get thrown, and even though you probably don't die if you get thrown because you see their DPS top, it's still extra damage that you have to spend time healing.
Yeah.
And you want your team to be avoiding damage.
We got a little greedy for that kill.
Yeah.
We wanted it.
Especially with just you and Joe there, like, you're probably not killing him with just those two.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So level 7, which one of these are you thinking, and kind of explain why?
I took Binding Heal, so that way anytime I don't necessarily feel like I'm wasting my Q if I use it on myself. If I use it on a teammate, I still get a heal myself.
Okay. Because I'd argue that, especially since you have to increase cooldown from bolt strategy, you're not going to be able to get as much value from it. And if you're in a good position, ideally you're not taking damage, so you don't get any value from Binding Heal. I'd argue against this comp, especially with Lunara serving as the offlaner, Blessed Recovery is a really good pick. Because any damage you're really taking from their team is going to be bursty, either from Kael'thas Q or Alarak's like combo.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be getting 15% of your health back. And then so that and that kind of serves as your form of healing. If their DPS was like Lunara Gul'dan, I'd probably argue for Power Word Shield as like in terms of extra shielding against that damage over time.
Yeah.
But I guess the reason against Binding Heal is that ideally you're not in a position to take damage against their team.
Okay.
So if you are taking damage, yes, it gives you a lot of healing. And then the question becomes, should you be in a position to take that much damage? And unless they're like hard flanking you with like Genji Charism dives, for example, it's probably a matter of you might want a position to hide a bit more and then let your tank and DPS kind of bait their damage more, because you can save them a lot easier. That's a good try at the combo.
Yeah, I missed a lot of those E's. This game was not...
No, that's a good try though. Like, you're trying to follow up on the right situations. And when your teammates also are a bit low, you're kind of using your W a lot. Again, right now you're pretty safe behind your wall. Like, whenever your Q is off cooldown, I'd pop it. Yeah, and you did it right there. Like, Q right now. Again, I don't think there's a reason. I don't know.
I probably
Yeah,
shouldn't
you
have
probably
been
shouldn't
there.
have gone to the bush. Like, you don't really contribute anything by being in close range. And by being far, it's probably better just because you can pull Johanna out of a sticky situation.
Yeah,
But now that you're in here, you're very much trapped. I think they ignore you and you just get out.
I think I did.
But
yeah,
they
I
could
think
have
I walked away.
like they could have like tried to blow you up. But Kael'thas
Yeah.
was top, so. So that's extra damage that you had to take that you didn't need to. Yeah. That was a very unlucky timing on the chokehold.
And it wasn't. By the time he called bomb, I had already clicked on the D, and I was like, well, too late now.
Because you literally yoinked him into a chain of death.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where the living bomb pops, and especially since he has his unstoppable up. I don't know if that's a good time. I don't know if you need to pull Johanna until the shield is down. Also, like even discounting the living bomb situation.
Yeah.
Like he has his shield, he's not taking damage until the shield breaks.
Yeah, I definitely got yelled at for that one.
But right now, I'm noticing like you're not like you went for inner fire, but you're not really contributing a lot in terms of auto attacks. You're kind of more just like posturing yourself and then popping spells, repositioning, popping spells, repositioning, popping spells.
Oh.
As it's a matter of with Garrosh Alarak, they're gonna be able to pull you into his range, and that's just a very tough situation where it's also on Joe not to step up in that situation to just avoid getting yanked. I'd root right now. I would have maybe tried to root the Garrosh since you saw him pop Unstoppable down here to avoid the tower slow. You know he doesn't have that. And it's more of just like an effort to try to like keep him away from the Rainer. I think the Malfurion resulted in him he gets killed anyway.
Yeah, but I could have a little more awareness
Like,
too. I wasn't even thinking about the Unstoppable that the Garrosh had already used. A little more awareness on my part.
And there's just a chance that it might have been enough to save. So level 10, what ultimate are you thinking and why?
It changes, you know, depending. I don't remember what I took here, but I know typically we tend to like Light Bomb more, but I need to learn to pay more attention to the amount of I need to pay more attention to the amount of stuns and stuff they have if I want to take Protect.
So what interrupts do they have?
I mean, Garrosh can pop Unstoppable and walk in.
Yeah. No, I'm talking for Holy Word. Yeah, Garrosh has 3 things that can interrupt it. He can Q you, he could throw you, or he could taunt.
Yeah.
Those are 3 ways to shut it down. Lunara doesn't have anything. Kael'thas has E. Since Malf didn't go Twilight, he doesn't have anything. But the main reason I wouldn't go for Salvation, and I think Light Bomb is the pick, is this guy. Ruthless Momentum means that W is going to be up really quickly.
Yeah.
And that W is going to interrupt you, and then you're just a sitting target for Garrosh.
Yeah. And I don't remember. I don't think I took. I think I took Light Bomb here.
Yeah. I'd say that's a pick. Light Bomb is a good follow-up with Johanna or somebody that's like getting thrown. That's kind of you got thrown, here's a bomb in your backline, so you guys are all stunned. Or it's a good follow-up for Joe Condemn.
Yeah.
So Joe brings them all together, they're all stunned from Light Bomb, and then you also have Root follow-up, Bless Shield, Jane, everyone's just throwing damage out at that point. Sets up for Bless Shield, Jaina Root, your Root. I like the Light Bomb pick. Are you trying to throw to Haka? Yeah, I see. Yeah. Good throw. Or good pull.
Thanks.
And obviously in comms, kind of keep your team aware of like how long you have for your next cleanse.
Yeah.
Because having a cleanse, if they know they don't have a cleanse, they'll instinctively play a bit more conservatively and be less likely to get thrown. Whereas obviously if you have it, don't like subconsciously just play more aggro. Or know that they have a safety button.
Yeah, but it's still there.
To bait out cooldowns. You probably stepped up really far for the W, and you ate a lot of damage for it. That's a very good Jaina Root, though. That was a very good Jaina Root.
Session's a really great mage player.
Oh wow, that's sweet.
Yeah. Let's see how much damage you ate on that step up. Just a bit before it. Okay, yeah, that chunked you a lot. And then you step up right here. You eat the Alarak ultimate. You eat Lunara poke damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alarak just needs one more combo to get you at that point.
Yep.
The most important heroes off the table. You fiend!
Luckily, your team wins, but because you died, they can't really do a lot with it in terms of like they can't push down a fort. Like they can go steal a camp because everybody's down, but like Jaina has to back. Joe should probably, after getting this, retreat and back up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's what that feels like.
Yeah.
just surviving there enables your team to do a bit more. But that was a good light bomb and root follow up in terms of those aspects. That was pretty good.
The darkness gathers.
Yeah, I'd always be cautious of using your Q whenever you're kind of near their team. If you were in range to auto attack them, that means Alarak's in range to pull you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since you went for applied force at 7.
Yeah.
So
Positioning is something I've always struggled with.
Mhm.
So
I
definitely think
usually
that's where I need to improve.
with Anduin, usually it should be the enemy, unless they like hard dive you or have like a Kuromi, they shouldn't be able to really hit you.
Mm-hmm.
My beloved is gone, but his power remains. Control the shrines and make use of it.
Now, question, I guess this right now. How much damage do you think you've done to enemy heroes?
Not much at this point. Not much.
5,606. Do you think you've gotten the value from bold strategy so far?
Nope. Definitely not.
Now, level 13, all three of these talents I'd argue are viable.
Mhm.
Which one did you go for, and kind of explain why?
Typically, I go for push forward because I'm trying to get the auto attacks and trying to do damage, to buff the heals.
Mhm.
I don't remember if I took it this match because I think I may have realized, like, hey, I'm not actually doing that much damage. I think I took Speed of the Pious because also I feel like with enchant boots, like if I'm using my D a lot and pulling teammates out of these situations, I feel like I'm not going to get as much value out of that. So I think I took Speed of the Pious.
So the way I think about these picks is kind of this way. So push forward means you're going to have a lot of movement speed during a fight.
Yeah.
As long as you're obviously in position to be able to deal damage to trigger the move speed. Enchant boots is all about you're able to position yourself a lot before the fight. So this is a lot about like maximizing your pre-fight positioning.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a lot about making sure you can position the best you can in the middle of a fight, just in a constant speed. And then Speed of the Pious is just for burst. Like, I might not need that move speed like constantly during a fight or constantly before the fight, but I need it right now, so I need to pop my W. And I like that against this team because you're gonna need a lot more urgent popping of your speed
Mm-hmm.
than you're gonna need like a constant speed boost. Like if Alarak is like yanks you in and you can pop your W before he whacks you. Although you can argue that if with the extra movement speed from enchant boots, you're less likely to get hit by Alarak. As long as you have your passive.
Yeah. True.
But I'd also argue that he's been comboing you so far when you've had to use your Q.
Mm-hmm.
So then that extra 20 movement speed doesn't really matter. But yeah, I like the Speed of the Bias pick.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
fine.
can quickly get bonuses. And it's also good in terms of you can, in a fight, you can like reposition your W better to maximize your heal on people. Oh, I think you tried to treat your light bomb kind of like an ancestral or like a D shield. Because I think it popped on. I think you dropped it on Johanna as the pyro was coming in.
And I think I was trying to get value out of it before she died. Like, even if Joe dies, if she can stun someone before she goes, we might have a chance to do something or turn this. I think
Yeah.
that's what was going through my head.
Okay. Yeah, Joe ate a lot of damage in that start. That's a situation where like you don't want to be anywhere like near them. So like I'd say like after you pop your W, just immediately start running the other way.
Hmm.
I'd honestly say Light Bomb instead of Joe, it should go to Dahaka right now. He's closer to
Yeah.
their backline. He can choose the target better, and it gives him a really good follow up for his CCs. Like he can stick on Malfurion super hard. He can stick on Alarak
Yeah.
super hard. So that's a good E in terms of just trying to like keep the Garrosh away from your Rainer. You might want to have your passive ready to pull Dahaka out. I think that's what you were looking for.
Yeah.
But you also need the Dahaka to do work to get closer to you. Like you can't put yourself in a kill position just to try to save him.
Yeah, and I've noticed I do that a lot too. Again, because positioning isn't always my
Yeah.
best thing. I will go in too far to try and save teammates when I should really just back out so that there's only one death instead of two.
Yeah. I think the Tactic Shrine. I believe he already finishes Convection.
I think he's finished it by this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, again, he's eating a lot of damage, which is unlucky. It is hard to get out of the queues if he puts it right when you're in the middle of it, though. So
Yeah.
was that a situation where? I think you got value of it. Yeah, you did. Okay.
I got those
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Jaina was a little far
Yeah,
behind.
I was thinking you weren't gonna hit those. Because I was like, Joe's not condemning. You might not hit those, but Joe caught up eventually. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I was thinking, does Joe hit that without a condemn? Was like my main like, does she even hit that? I guess she does though. And
Yeah,
and tell
I should
Joe,
have held it though. I
yeah.
mean, Jaina was a little far
Yeah.
behind.
And I like this level 4 pick with Joe with what you're trying to do with the Light Bomb. It lets Joe, if you're trying to do the W
Oh,
into Light
yeah.
Bomb, Joe can position a lot better. Yeah, you're not yanking. This is a position where you don't really need to heal anybody, and I'd probably say, Dahaka, go down. I am going to go down, and I'm going to try to yank you to safety.
That beast is not my beloved.
Although it seems like their team isn't really going for him at all, so
Serve the Legion well.
it's all fine and dandy. Yeah, this is a great time for you to pop your E, or W, get some extra damage, and then pop an E right on it.
Yeah. Yep. Getting there.
Good pull on Jano.
Left Joe to die.
I mean, you can only save one
Yeah.
person, like,
Yeah.
and I wasn't even sure Joe was gonna die there, so saving Jano was a fine pick. That was a fine decision. And then they just chase Taka to death.
They chased Dahaka forever.
I mean, they can because they have Lunaro to.
Yeah.
She can catch up. She can pop a W to slow him, and then Garrosh is on you. Like,
Darkness gathers.
you and Rainer just gotta. Clear.
Prepare yourselves, heroes.
So level 16, you choose to go for inner focus. I guess kind of argue why. I guess explain why you went for that 16.
It kind of, it like I don't know, say it kind of gives you like a burst heal. Like if you use your Q and you need like another one right away with, or just like you need a bigger heal. Um, that's typically why I take that.
I love this pick. I think it's really good for the build you have so far because it removes all the negatives from bold strategy when you pop it, which is great. Um, it gives you a burst option. Completely agree with that. And if you hit and like the burst heal combo for Anduin is kind of you Q, inner focus Q. You have a divine star that's set to try to reset your inner focus. So if you hit three of them, you get another inner focus, and then you Q again. And against this team with like the Pyro and Alarak combos, you're gonna be wanting that burst, or heck, even just spreading it amongst your teammates. The other one I could have seen an argument for is even-handed blessings, but
I don't know that I've ever taken that one. I don't
which
think.
is you refund half your cooldown if flash shields on a different target, which is really good for doing a lot of AoE and not really targeting anybody.
Okay.
I think inner focus is more versatile because it's good for healing a lot of people and for healing one person. But I could have seen an argument for even-handed, and it neutralizes part of the bold strategy drawback.
Yeah. Question then, what do you think of Lightwell?
Here's my opinion of Lightwell. I think it's only pickable if they're constantly killing you first in the fight, and they're devoting a lot of resources to kill you in the fight.
Okay.
So if every fight's gonna start with like a combo that's gonna kill you, and you drop a Lightwell, that's your healer. That's your team's healer for the rest of the fight.
Okay. That makes sense.
If you're gonna be alive, then I don't think Lightwell gets value. But if you're going to do a combo, and like any combo that's gonna guarantee kill you is gonna use a lot of resources. So as long as you have some healer there, you can probably win the counter fight, the fight afterwards. Yeah. And Lightwell gives your team, oh, that's my other healer.
Okay. I've just heard a lot of talk. Like some people like really love it, and some people absolutely hate it. So I was just curious.
I think because of the fact that Anduin doesn't really do a lot of like Tixif healing except for Renew, I think Lightwell only gets value over the others in that kind of rare situation. Okay. But it does happen. Like if you're doing like a Judgment, Hinterland, like hardcore blow up combo on you, like it happens. Like that's like that. There's times where teams will run that to 100% kill you, because if you survive, then their team's gonna lose. But if you die, their team might win. If you pop a Lightwell, it's like, okay, I'm dead, but my team still has heals. And then you'll probably have it up by the next time that they do that combo on you. You drop another Lightwell.
Yep.
And I mean, if you don't die, heck, at least it still gives you some value. So
yeah.
I'd only use it if they're constantly getting you out of the fight or killing you as they're engaged in a way that's not really avoidable for you. And then you can just try to pop a Lightwell when they start it. That's a good question though, because people try to say Lightwell like has no use, it's garbage. It's just like there's a time and place for it. It's rare. I don't know if it's like a go-to pick at 16, but I don't know if it's like a never pick either. Because a lot of Anduin 16 is very utility based. You can make an argument for all four of these in any situations. I say inner focus is like the most versatile and like the go-to if you're unsure. But you can argue for Lightwell, or you can argue for even-handed. Holy Nova is great for if you're winning and you're running like a dive comp. Because so you can like throw it, and then with Speed of the Pious, Anduin can catch up, and then when Holy Nova catches, you'll AoE heal your team and damage the enemy team. Okay. So your team's able to like play really aggressive and position really aggressive, and you can afford to kind of dive as Anduin. Holy Nova is really good with that. I'd say that's best if you can Holy Nova, and then you can also go Salvation if they have low CC, because then even if you may position a bit too far, you still have the Salvation to save you. Okay. But anytime that you're able to kind of dive as an Anduin, or that damage is going to be enough to kill an enemy dive on you, I'd say it's viable. I don't know how to feel about the ring there, because your team isn't really going to be able to follow up on it.
No, I think it was more of a defensive ring, like, hey guys, run away while they're rooted.
Get safe. and now just constantly try to keep your teammates up. Like
Walk right
you
into
find
every
yeah
one of
I
the
find that you're
Malfurions.
walking into a lot of Malfurions after they're already
am.
set,
I am.
and it's just, that's like a little thing of like watch your circles.
Yeah, it's just again more of that awareness. I need
Yeah.
to stop. I need to look a little bit more at my own self and not just my teammates.
Yeah.
Stop walking into things.
The fire comes for you.
Again, I don't think you got a lot of value from the bold strategy pick.
Nope.
Again, it's a bold strategy to go for it. They kept with that
Yeah.
theme.
But
I don't think it paid off in this situation.
Nope. Didn't. Well.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate if you got pulled and then you couldn't really do anything to help your team after that.
Yep.
Kicked, yeah.
Yeah.
After a situation where you walked into a route
Mhm.
and then Alarac's like, oh, free combo.
Yep. Oh, it's even worse watching it like this. Like, oh god.
Precious keep heroes. My core is under attack. I need this for reasons.
And this is just their ending, and then you guys are just trying to defend.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
the main things.
they win.
Yeah, the main things I get from it are just being more aware of your positioning,
Mhm.
because there's ways to position yourself to avoid a lot of damage. They don't really dive you, so if you position like more on the safe side, they're not gonna really be able to hurt you, and then you can use all your healing for your teammates.
Yeah.
And then I think by going for not bold strategy, you can afford to do a lot more Qs to keep their health up a bit higher.
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself as much of a leash as possible so that when they get kind of comboed, you're gonna be able to still keep them alive. And having their health as high as possible gives you that leash. Okay, that was Anduin on D-Shire, and then another one. Do you want to cover? Is there a different one you want to cover, or do you want to cover this Auriel game?
I know we won a game. I don't remember which one it was though, but I'll probably learn more from the losses.
Okay.
So yeah, we can do that one.
Yeah. So your team is going for a hyper carry comp. I can definitely tell. Just hyper carrying the Vala. With
Yeah.
double
I actually
support.
really like the Auriel Vala
Mhm.
combo. I've played
Yeah.
that a lot with friends,
Mhm.
and it's something I enjoy. I have fun playing Auriel.
And their comp is really interesting. They're going for a double tank, double mage.
Yeah, we were a little confused seeing the
They're
Joe and the
beefy,
Diablo.
and they have wave clear. But kind of the fun little thing for an offlaner. Try Johanna offlane. It's actually not bad.
Really? Huh.
You have
okay.
enough. You have enough wave clear to clear the minions. You have your.
True.
You're not gonna die to a gank with your passive.
Mhm.
And you have enough health to like freeze the wave, and take some damage and still be fine. It's one of those quiet picks that nobody really goes because people prefer going bruisers. It's arguably more optimal, but
Mhm.
Johanna tank has been done.
I'll let our offlaner know.
It's one of those picks if they're really trying to kill offlaner all the time, give them Johanna. Johanna's not gonna die.
Yeah.
So Auriel. So in terms of that team, you're pretty much, unless Vala is dead, you're pretty much going to be crowning Vala the entire time.
Yep.
And just healing based off of that. So level 1, you went for Searing Light. I
Mhm.
guess, can I do the same thing that I did for other times? Argue why.
I used to take Swift Sweep, but I talked over, like I said, I used to play the Auriel Vala with friends.
Mhm.
And talking it over, one of them was like, well, I mean, if you're throwing heals out, a lot of the times we're going to be in the middle of the enemy team, or like, at least one or two of them are just going to be in range, so you can get some damage in addition to healing and kind of serve a dual purpose. And I kind of like that. It made sense. So that's why I took that one.
So the way I think about Searing Light W is, I think it's good if either team is going for a dive comp, because that's when you're most guaranteed while trying to heal people to damage the opponents.
Mm-hmm.
The problem if I'm a Searing Light though is, one, it makes people make the mistake of, oh, my ally and my enemy is there, I'm gonna W them when I could have done a W in this different place and healed all my allies, and not damage the enemy. That's kind of like
I
a
never saved it for that situation.
Mhm.
Like if we were out of a fight and we were all clustered together, I'd use the W.
yeah, but it kind of tricks people for that, and like it doesn't, and like if you're, and I have to like kind of watch your W's this game to see if your team, if your W's primarily end up just healing your team and not really hitting an opponent, then I don't really, then you're pretty much wasting your level 1 talent. Against this team, the Diablo makes it potentially viable as a pick. If the Diablo's just diving you, or if you go for like a D shield on Malfurion and the Malfurion is diving their backline, I'd say Searing Light's viable. I kind of need to see how the game goes to determine whether it's the best pick or not. Just seeing how your team plays with it. But I find a lot of people that just take Searing Light and then they just like heal their team the whole time, and it's just like, then why not go for one of the Q talents?
Okay.
And then, so for Qs, you said you used to go Swift Sweep versus, or so I see Swift Sweep a lot. I see Righteous Assault a lot. Again, I have to see how your team does to say if Searing Light's good enough. But if not Searing Light, which one of these would you go, and kind of explain why?
I'll be honest, I usually would just go Swift Sweep because pre-Auriel rework, that was what most of the builds said to go. So that's typically what I would pick.
Yeah, I can see that, and especially against like this double mage comp. The way I view it is, can you afford to stand still? If the answer is yes, go Swift Sweep. If the answer is, can you afford to stand still? If you can, go Righteous Assault. If you can't, go Swift Sweep.
Okay.
Because, you know, with Righteous Assault, you gotta go through the whole Q animation, and then with the Zebo Jaina, that's opportunity for them to pop damage on you. Whereas the Swift Sweep is kind of like, boop, Q's done, gone, etc., and then just doing that over and over again. I'd probably say
yeah. And they all had that portrait too.
That's great. That's freaking great.
They went hardcore on the Carbot Anduin.
that's absolutely great. I'd probably have gone for Swift Sweep if not for Searing Light. I'll see how your Searing Lights go though.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't forget to crown your Vala. You haven't crowned your Vala yet. I'm a bit scared.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good W in terms of it healed everybody that needed to be healed, and then I think part of the reason you can afford to do that more, and yeah, you have an Uther. I think Searing Light is the pick. Now that I think about it.
We were trying out a double support.
Yeah, because Uther, because as long as you and Uther kind of coordinate, Uther, you kind of pocket Vala, and I'll kind of heal the front line. Like, you're gonna be able to heal a lot while dishing a lot of damage. Now that I see the Uther pick, I like that. I like that pick a lot more. Good wall bang.
Thank you.
Yeah, then this kind of setup, Uther serving as like your split from the 4-man, need be. Were you guys kind of unsure if you wanted to? Oh yeah, Vala needed to catch.
Yeah, Vala was like, guys, we can't miss soak. So.
That's fair. Good E. I know you didn't get the wall bang, but like, it just peels
Yeah, I
him
just
away
wanted to
from
get
you.
some
Yeah.
distance. Yeah.
You and Val are just doing this.
We're ready to leave though if they start to
Yeah.
walk in at us.
Sublime.
Good heal there. Get some damage. I think the quest is pretty much the go-to I've seen. Just even without the damage being focused, which an extra 250 damage is insane. Like
Yeah.
just knocking them back further in itself is just a huge.
That's my go-to at 4.
Yeah. Like people used to go for like Swift Sweep or Righteous Assault into Majestic Span, but a lot of times now your focus is on just getting your E, using your E to just pull people away as far as possible, either to do
Yeah.
damage and wallbang or just peel. Like, it's just the most versatile talent, so I like that pick. You're positioning safer on on Auriel than Anduin. I think that's probably because you're not pressured to like feel like you have to auto attack or damage as much,
Yeah.
and so you're more able to just sit back and just heal your team when they take the damage. Okay, you see Diablo below. Obviously, always
it was
just
a little-
keep
I
it.
would-
Always just keep an eye out for where is he, where am I, and where's the wall behind me.
Yeah, I started to back out there. I was like, I'm really
Yeah.
far forward.
I mean, if he's that far alone, though, he's not gonna be able to kill me. But heal ETC there. Ooh, now you're stepping up a bit too far. If you're at low health, you've used your W a lot for your front line, which is fine. Again, as long as the Uther is focusing his Q for the back line.
Yeah, I was trying to save ETC.
Oh, I think you just missed clipping the Malfurion there, which is unfortunate, but you guys should win this race. That was a good time for a Q. Yeah, go for the Lily. Go for the Lily.
Yeah, she walks away. Lily's the best tank. Walks
Yeah.
away from everything.
Auriel is great on Shrine just because there's a lot of things for her to hit.
Yeah.
Cool. My guy's got a new talent.
Level 7. I like the Energized Hope. Even though they've been slightly punching you, they've still been letting you auto attack a bit more. And it's probably the best one in terms of keeping your hope up.
Well, I think it works on just all basic attack.
All of Auriel's basic attacks.
Yeah, so even if I'm not getting in autos on the enemy team, if
It
we're
still
up
buffs
helping
your
clear
heals.
minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or can't.
The other one I've seen people argue for is if you have like a battery that's like a melee, I've seen empathic link, but Vala ideally isn't just suiciding.
Yeah, no, she shouldn't.
Maybe with a
be.
Tassadar, but like she shouldn't really be suiciding. And then
Yeah.
Glimmer of Hope is kind of interesting with the level 16.
With
I'd
Reservoir.
argue
Hope.
with Reservoir Hope because you can stack your quest faster.
Yeah.
But I don't know if saving for a 16 is worth not getting more consistent.
No, and with a
Energy.
Vala at 16, I'm typically more concerned with giving the Vala either the increased attack speed or spell power, depending on what build they took. That's usually more my
I'd
focus.
argue otherwise. I guess let's talk about 16 now. Pretty much Reservoir of Hope has been like the go-to pick I've seen
Really?
in higher level play, because once you stack it enough, because The reason is, especially against teams, you'll find like between fights you can stack it a lot with your team, because you're not gonna be fighting much between objectives in a team setting, so then
Yeah.
you'll have ample opportunity to stack your reservoir. And then basically, if you stack enough, it's pretty much like an AOE ancestral.
Okay. I guess I never thought about it like that.
But I mean, there are some Valas that would be like, give me more auto attack speed.
Yeah.
But then,
So in a setting where you are like team fighting a lot more and you maybe don't get that opportunity to stack it as much, would you still take that, or?
I think I'd always take it if I go Searing Light, actually,
Okay.
because it also does because it increases your W, and then this still means 30% of your W is now damage.
Okay.
So if you're going Searing Light, it's a big AOE ancestral and it does extra damage.
Okay.
Obviously, like that does, if somebody's gonna die, don't save it just to get to full energy, but you can pop it. And then I guess during a lot of team fights, the advantage is if your Vala is able to do a lot of damage, it'll pretty much be close or like at full like each time it's up for a bit. And then by the time it's not like that, each W is gonna be like an ancestral anyway. The only map where I'd say that happens is probably Tomb or D-Shire.
Okay.
But even then, like between fights, we should be able to stack it. And then like if you can't stack it during a fight, I mean, you probably weren't able to stack it much further than that anyway. It just gives you a lot more burst healing as an Auriel, also.
Yeah.
And with Searing Light, you're doing extra damage as well.
A well-deserved victory.
Ooh, you stepped up a bit far there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ate like a blizzard. I will say that with a double support, you can afford to, I guess, position a bit more aggro and position more to get the whip shots.
Yeah, but I still shouldn't have been. That was really far
Yeah.
forward.
It was far forward into blizzard, I'd say.
Sublime.
Okay, so you have vision that they're doing that. Good whip onto Jaina.
Thanks.
And point fights are great for Searing Light value.
Absolutely.
Good whip.
Save you, heroes.
Okay, so which pick do you... Come... I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I can't have picked the wrong one here.
The only argument I've seen for Resurrect is Cho'Gall.
Power gathers within a shrine. Be ready.
Are you guys going for the Holy Cow Mosh?
I think so. Yeah, I think he did end up taking D-Shield. Yeah, because we figured either Holy Cow or
D-Shield or
Vala dives
yeah.
in real deep. Yeah.
Claim the shrine. Show its
So Malfurion, Jaina are bot, so you know it's at worst a 4v4 up here.
Yep.
I think you're probably positioned a little safe. I'd probably like since I know Diablo's coming, I'd probably position myself around here. They don't necessarily need you to clear the shrine super quickly with the Vala. And then that way, if Diablo's coming from here, you can, if you see Diablo coming from here, you can retreat closer towards the lane, so you're less likely to get wall banged. If he's coming up from below, you can retreat up here and then kind of stay here, so he's less likely to wall bang you. This being very reactive to where you see Diablo. Like, I'd say if I was here, I see Diablo coming from this way, I'd probably start positioning like over here. Because your team doesn't really, your W range is pretty decent. Like, your team doesn't need you to be close to them. Luckily, Diablo just goes for the front line, so you're good. But your W range isn't bad, and your crown range is really long, so you don't necessarily need to be up in the fight. I'd say right now you should be like hunting for a wallbang.
I think I was trying to.
Because they're trying to retreat. And then, do you notice Lily back here?
I don't think I did. I think I was too focused on getting that. Oh.
Oh no, you knocked Diablo out of it. Wait, let me see how that fight worked. I was
so
thinking,
scared because his health was so low. I was like, I
was about to say you should Crystal Aegis the Malthael, but then the D shield actually went out on him, and then you Crystal Aegis yourself. Was that kind of coordinated, or was that just like you panicked yourself and then?
No, I think that was more of I panicked and Aegis myself. Yeah.
Okay, and then
it just happened to work out.
Yeah. We'll do a lot of pause plays to see how the fight's developing. So Diablo's in. Until he just walks out. You probably chase a bit too far to get the wall bang. Like if you once you see Diablo's out and Joe has unstoppable, like probably just back out. You don't need to stay there and be in range for damage like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would have probably, like, Aegis Malthael here, right when he's about to get rooted. But it just so happens that Uther is able to pop the D shield. I think instead of Wing yourself, like, Johanna's not going to kill you just by herself on you. I probably would have committed the W to the Vala.
Okay.
Because even though she landed on you and you were at full health, she's not going to be able to kill you, really. Because her DPS are all back here.
Okay.
Because your health when she lands on you, like it's not like super high, but like she's not gonna kill you pretty much. Like she's popped all her damage abilities at this point.
Yeah, I think at that point I didn't think I was in range of Vala. But yeah, I probably could have walked a little bit further away from Joe. Yeah, I was too far forward there, absolutely.
Whereas her Vala's a lot more desperate need of healing. Yeah, like you were at like 50% health, like Joe's not gonna kill you from there. Although you do have your good W for ETC there. To follow up on the Mosh. And then Diablo just is able to get the
I was in way too deep.
I kind of think of it as, you're specialized to heal, Vala specialized to do damage. You don't need to step up for the sake of doing damage if you can just back up and let Vala do all the energy gathering for you.
Absolutely.
Bold move by Vala. You try for the Lily, but...
Yeah.
Ouch. And that's a dead Uther.
I think his exact words were, but trait value.
Okay. Backing up. Keep track of the fact that the Punisher's about to jump on you. So you should be backing up away from it.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely the one that doesn't want to get jumped on. Because you have to
Yep.
H to save somebody. If you're jumped,
And
it's
that's
kinda
it.
screwed. Yeah. Good wall bang. So you Aegis Vala.
But then stood in a blizzard.
I mean, you were rooted, so I mean, it was one of you guys had to be Aegis. I'd probably argue that I need to see when she's rooted. Is Vala in range to do damage? I'd say it's probably better actually to, since you have, does Vala survive that? I need to think about that.
Was with the blizzard dropped.
I
right
think if Vala
after.
had Gloom, it might have been better to Aegis yourself. But since Vala didn't have Gloom, I think it was a better call to Aegis her. Because Vala wasn't range to do damage while she was rooted, so she would have given you more energy. But I think if she had Gloom, I'd probably say, like, she's not going to die from the Jaina right there.
Yeah.
But since
But
she
I-
didn't, like,
Mhm.
it's probably better for you to have Aegis yourself, or Aegis Vala. Plus, you have another support coming in Uther, so it's not like she's lacking for heals. Wallbang? Wallbang? Nice! And that's a dead Diablo. I think.
I think
Please?
we get him. Yeah.
Thank you. It would have been better if you were just a little more patient and got the ETC and Uther in the W. But
Yeah.
Are you doing your W on release or quick cast?
It's not set to anything. It's just
Oh, just
W.
the W.
yeah. I don't have it set on anything.
Oh, so do you do W click for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because a lot of times is that people will go quick cast and then they'll miss their W on that.
No, I don't use quick cast for like everything. Like I don't set it up for every ability.
Appreciate it.
Must retreat. A well-deserved victory.
Yeah, I'd rendezvous with Val instead of the ETC. Probably, yeah. You can just save up more energy.
I think
with her.
I was afraid of him being by himself, and I know Val already had a healer with her, so
That's fair, but you could also kind of bet that like, if you're not there, ETC probably positioning himself so that like he can just like get out, and then I'd also be scared of at even tier they could invade bruisers. I think it worked out fine though.
yeah, neither of us died, so
My hero's just the
So level 16, you said you go for a lot for the auto speed or spell power.
I think I took the spell power for Vala on this one.
Because she went for Q quest. Okay.
Yeah, this was not a
Whoa.
good. This
Well,
was a
let me go back. That's if I was gonna happen.
that was a bad call from our shot caller. That engagement did not go the way we wanted it to.
Case. Yeah, you and Vala Malthil aren't in position to do anything quite yet.
No.
And
And then
ETC's
the
eating
tight
a
corridors
ton
and
of
everything.
damage. I'd argue right there, you tell Uther to D-shield and he just mosh. You just slide him mosh. I'd probably say that's actually the best call in that situation.
Yeah.
You got in the front line in it. So ETC starts the fight chunked, and Vala hasn't had time to really gather energy for you quite yet.
Yeah. And then this ring, we're trying to run away, but
And it splits you guys pretty evenly.
yep.
Are you? You see the falling sword about to fall. Do you drop Aegis on Vala right here?
No, because I got stunned.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got stunned and I just dropped it myself, but I don't make it out of there either. Nope.
With that one.
Yeah, I think with the falling sword being right there, I probably would just put it on Vala and just kind of like, I might die, but like, Uther, please pocket her. Might be the
Like I
call.
said, that
Yeah.
that engagement did not go it all the way, I think.
Yeah.
Our shot caller had envisioned, so.
Yeah. Again, like the one way it might have worked is like instantly pop the D-shield Mosh maybe, right when they were all in that bush. But
Yeah, to give us time
that's
to catch up.
that's very much like a call that like takes a lot of synergy.
And
And,
we're
like-
still working on that.
Yeah, and like a lot, and like because like that's a call that's faster than you can say it. Like that's gotta be ETC like screaming D-shield immediately, and Uther just knowing to pop it. That's the only way that might work. And that was just like checking the bush without you guys having caught up quite yet, I'd say.
Yeah.
I get what he was trying to do with like he wants to start anchoring the bush, but if the enemy can be right there, it might be better to wait before the anchor even starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crown on Vala.
Heroes, an arcane punisher comes for you.
I look to wallbang Diablo right now just to shove him away at least. Good wallbang. I'd probably tell ETC just to back up and tap. Like
At that point, yeah.
he's at risk of dying at that moment. That was a good call not to panic Aegis right there on Vala. A lot of people would be like, "Oh crap, Vala's stunned, instant Aegis." But then
Yeah.
but like the problem with Aegis is that it sets up so much of their damage with the ring.
Yeah. I've played a lot with Sestren. We actually played on a team together in NGS a few seasons back, so I'm used to him just like being in deep, but knowing how deep he can go and still get out.
Yeah.
So we're familiar with each other's playstyles.
Yeah. That's a big thing with Auriel Vala. Or Auriel with like any like big battery. It's just again 10% spell power. Oh, you gotta get ready to save ETC right now. ETC's
Can we just-
yeah, ETC's slide was down. You might have been able to save him with like an Aegis. But then you guys start positioning for a retreat. There's a D-shield Mosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna assume that was that a bait or was that just like Uther capitalizing on the mistake?
That was Uther capitalizing on a mistake.
Okay.
Because the call was, that's why I was backing out, because we were like, okay, leave, 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 and then when ETC got stuck, we managed to turn it around.
Yeah. Also, very small thing that I might tell your Uther. In a double support comp, Tears delivers is insane.
Let's see, oh, yeah. For sure.
Especially with Malthael heal, Vala, Siphoning Arrow, ETCE, your heals.
Oh, yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Tears is massive in this situation. And he went for more self-healing, which I guess as he's positioning so frontline, I guess works. But with the double support, Tears is really good. Especially with the way your comp has been designed. Extra heals, extra heals, extra heals.
Yeah.
I don't know why you queued there. Just
Not sure
I thought
either.
you were just more exposing yourself to risk.
Yeah, looking at that. Did not need to do that or be
Yeah.
there.
Again, be what Since Uther's not with Vala, just like stick to Vala.
Yep, I'm headed up there.
I say pop her heal quickly as possible so she can build you energy rapidly instead of waiting a bit before healing her.
Yeah.
That's a very minor thing though. Oh, EDC might. If they keep chasing, you might need to be in position.
I was bad. I was like, you should have gone the other
Gone
way.
left, yeah. That's just the worst thing. Like you call out, like go left or like go up. Yeah, because if you've gone
my
left,
angle.
yeah.
Yeah, if he had gone left there, I could have been able to save him.
Aegis, yeah.
But
And that's just like calling out in comms, like, hey, do that. Aegis somebody, Aegis somebody. Get Aegis.
I don't know if he doesn't make it out anyway.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you gave yourself a chance there. Did you use your W before the? I'm trying to look at how your W timing was relative to the Aegis. Okay. So you see the big ring dropping.
Which is why I hung
You
out in the
dropped your
middle.
okay. You dropped your W at that point. You Aegis Vala. I would have saved your W. Whenever you Aegis, it's a good idea to save your W, even if it's max,
Yeah.
so that you can give them a W right as the Aegis breaks. Although I guess you were also concerned that like you were gonna die, but I guess Uther did pop the D shield on you. And you don't have to worry about saving Uther because if he dies, he just gives trait value heals.
Trait value. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if he may not. I don't think he called out that D shield though. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Then I went in and I was too late on the W. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough call to make. Of like, I might die, but I'm not gonna heal myself. But that would have probably been the best case scenario for the fight. And like with the double support, you could have argued that you'd take that risk of like I might die, but I need to guarantee that if Vala comes out, that she's at high health.
Yeah.
So level 20, which one do you go for?
I usually do Shield of Hope.
That's a fair choice. I find Diamond Resolve good if it's just like a pick, if they're a pick comp. But since like they're doing a lot of AOE with Jane and Nazebo, I like Shield of Hope a lot.
The shrine is ready. Go and claim the
Oh
Punisher's
crap,
power
Nazebo has
for the
stacks.
high heavens.
Yeah.
Oh crap. That's
Good thing
not
we
good.
have 2 healers, because that's a lot of damage from him.
Yeah. With Vala down, that objective's pretty much theirs. Like,
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, just like not show. Maybe, yeah. I was gonna say maybe it would have been better if you went with Malfurion, but then they just get fort. So I guess maybe staying here is probably the best call.
Be warned,
Just
a
under the
frozen
fort.
Punisher has been set against us.
It's a tough call at 20 when you feel like there's like nothing you can do.
Yeah. And like he probably shouldn't have stolen their camp. Probably should have come back and helped us defend. But
Probably,
hindsight's-
yeah.
Hindsight's 2020. At the time, I think we thought we could defend at the keep and be okay.
Which, if Vala's able to get clear Qs on the thing, it might. And actually, if he grabs it that fast, I'm a bit more okay with the call because Malfurion won't provide that much value in the fort defense. They'll just blow him up. Although he does have no one can stop death. I don't know about Vala being mid right there though. Like Vala should be just trying to burn this thing as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And her clearing a wave mid. That's a situation where it's more like Malfurion should have been the one doing that instead of the Vala. Also, now that Vala's back, you should probably crown her instead of Malfurion.
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that at this point, so I missed that.
Crystal Aegis Malfurion, Crystal Aegis Malfurion, Crystal Aegis Malfurion. Nice. He's looking for Mosh. That's a really good Mosh combo. And you're able to get big heals on your front line. That also help with the damage a bit. Yeah, right now you don't have a crown up right now. It's one of those like small things that's easier to learn if you
It's-
play Auriel without a hyper carry, but like constantly like shifting your crown if need be. It's just like one of those really hard skills that you can learn. You guys are literally the respawn comp. You have death metal, you have redemption, you have no one can stop death. You die and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no consequences.
She's too close.
And I assume this is the game you guys won.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, I think we do. I think we wipe them and we end up just going and pushing with the camp and winning.
Yep.
My hero's on a streak. They blew up a key. No fair, you cheaters.
That's good. This was definitely a lot better. I still see some of the same issues of like positioning,
Yeah.
but it's a bit less to talk about in terms of Arya because like like your W placement was good overall. You had another healer which puts a lot less pressure on you, a lot less burden on you to execute.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I think overall like in terms of like maybe the 16 minutes argued for a different pick. And then yeah, normally at 13 a lot of people go for blind, but against double mage I think I think piercing slash was the better hit. Was the better pick. But yeah, overall just like keeping an eye on your positioning I think would be your best bet.
Yeah,
also,
I definitely
Hufa,
need to
thank
pay
you for
more
the
attention to
follow.
that.
I was just talking to Twitch.
Oh.
But yeah, I think I guess the overall things to work on is just like positioning stuff. Just positioning yourself so that you can like avoid damage as much as possible while being able to heal your team.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
a tricky balance that takes a lot. Have you been playing support for a long time, or is it a bit newer?
No, I've been playing for a while, but HOTS is my first MOBA, and it was what I learned on. Like, I didn't have any prior experience to go off of, so I definitely don't have like good habits from anywhere else that I brought to this game.
Yeah.
So
I'd say just like being very aware of your positioning to like think about it as like a min-max game if you're trying to like minimize the damage you take while maximize your healing. So being like just like it should almost be like you have a yardstick between like you and the opponent and like another yardstick between like you and like your teammates of like, am I in range to heal you? Am I also in range to not take damage? And just like staying along, like just staying at like a certain radius around your teammate, distance from them. Just like getting better at that, and like, it's a thing that like every support has to learn. Like every healer also has like a different range of healing. So, but yeah, are there any other supports? Yeah, are there any other supports you want to talk about, or like another replay you want to watch?
I think for tonight, just those two will be good since it's almost midnight.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you going over those with me. I think another night, if you have time, I'd like to pick your brain about Malfurion, because like I said, I struggle with him post rework.
Yeah.
But
if you can get a replay with him, I can totally look at that.
Okay, we'll have to play him then, because as of right now, I've been like, guys, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So
I'd say overall, is your main problem just like hitting your W's safely?
Yeah, it seems like with Malfurion after his rework, every time I tried to step up and hit those W's, I'd just get deleted.
There's a build I go that actually is focused less on healing your or less on the W for healing.
Okay.
That I go for. That might be good for you to try for your first time. Just because like if they have like a very like dive or aggressive team, you're not gonna be able to W as much with the Malfurion.
Yeah, definitely not.
Just like a starter build that like might be interesting to like learn Malfurion on. Rejuvenation at 1, so that you don't have to put a Q on yourself as much. So you just get health regen for each of your Qs out on people. For 4, it's flexible. Like Vengeful is good for like Treant value, extra zoning, or shutting down healing for a blow up. I think all 3 of these are viable.
Okay.
7, Nature's Cure. You really want like a cleanse.
Yeah.
And it's a good AoE cleanse. If you keep your Q on a lot of people, you'll be able to do that big cleanse. 10, it's very comp dependent. Twilight Dream is good if you're able to position close enough to them to silence key people.
Mhm.
If you can't, Tranquility is good for just giving your team extra armor and healing. 13, I like going Nature Swiftness. So for each regrowth you have on people, you get to move a bit faster.
Okay.
And the 16 I go for, if you're for like learning Malfurion and getting better with him, and this will also I think help you a lot in terms of getting better with positioning, is Ysera's gift. So when Malf is at a high health, your healing over time is increased by 60%.
Okay.
So your Q's healing goes up by 60% when you're at higher health. And I think that's a good one in terms of if you want to just Q and like avoid taking a lot of damage from the enemy. Ysera's gift's a good one. And any little poke you take will be healed a lot by your rejuvenation at 1. So you'll be able to do a lot of healing more safely.
Makes sense.
And then at 20, probably your ultimate upgrade or Lunar Shower if you find you're able to W a lot. Like the primary build that people go with Malfurion is a lot more W focused, but
yeah,
the issue I find,
maybe that's why I was struggling.
Yeah, the issue I find a lot is that it's not always good because if the tanks are able to just focus you, you're just kind of screwed whenever you try to step up for a W.
Yeah.
So against a lower mobility tank, the W build's fine, but against a higher mobility tank, I find that build of like going for the rejuvenation with Ysera's gift instead of celestial alignment and nature's balance. That's the main difference between the two builds, by the way.
Okay.
Is that if you're against like a very high mobile tank or a team that can really aggress on you, then you want to be as far away from them as possible. And then I find rejuvenation, Ysera's gift to be better if you're not going to be able to get a lot of W value. If they have a low mobility tank frontline though, and you can get a lot of W value, then I like celestial alignment and nature's balance.
Yeah, I think that's what I was taking prior, because it seemed like after his rework, everyone was like, "Oh, it's all about the W's. Got to get the W's, the W's."
Yeah, if you're having a tough time with that though, then the rejuvenation Ysera's gift is an option. I picked that up after watching some supports in EU pick it up, and it's just like, huh. They know they're gonna die if they show their face, so with that they can heal a lot without having to show their face.
I'll have to try that, and see if that kind of helps me, and play him.
Yeah,
again.
and like you'll still get W's in whenever it's safe to, and then that can get you more confident and like more smart about your positioning with your W's.
All right, I'll have to try that.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. If you come with a Malfurion VOD next time, I'd love to review it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll mention that to my team. Maybe we can try that at our next practice.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me.
Hey, thank you for giving me these VODs to review. Like, this is a lot of fun for me, and also like asking you through it and like having to like make myself explain things helps me as well. So it works both ways.
Great.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Night.
Night. So as usual, you guys on stream, if you guys ever want support VODs reviewed or like any VOD in general, I probably best with support VODs, but I can also review other stuff. Feel free to DM me on Discord or Twitter, and we can get talking on that. While I'm here, do you guys have any questions for me? Because I'm probably just gonna get food after this. I'm pretty hungry right now. If you don't, no worries. I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys can see this later, and have a good night.